In the kitchen, I have a little grocery haul for you. So if you've been following along, I've been doing kind of a no spend January and trying to use up everything that I have in our fridge and freezer and pantry because we have a lot. Anyway, it's the end of January. I just did a little bit of fresh produce. I did allow some of that this month. Again, my husband eats here too, so I'm doing the challenge. We're still trying to eat healthy. And I wanted to show you how I prep and how I prepare my food to keep it at its freshest for the longest. So let's go through a couple of things that we do have. So in this grocery haul, we got some celery hearts, some green cabbage and some purple cabbage, and purple and green cabbage last a long time, and as long as it's stored properly. The green cabbage I will put in plastic because I do find that keeps it moist and retains everything in the fridge the longest. The strawberries, I do like to clean them and wash them, and I like to wash them in vinegar and some baking soda just to get all of the little cruddies off of it. And then I'm going to show you how I keep them fresh for the longest. We got some fresh broccoli. Wanted to do a stir fry, so some of the cabbage, the broccoli, one cucumber. So things were on sale, so that's what made it so much better. The mushrooms were on sale. I actually got 2 of these. And we love beets, so we always get the fresh beets. I usually cook them in the Instant Pot and then chop them up, have them in the fridge. They're great on top of salads. They're really good for you, great for cleansing the liver and everything. Picked up a couple of sweet potatoes because I am going to be starting a potato reset, so that's going to be good. So I need some non-starchies to go with all the potatoes. Romaine. We still have some mixed greens left in the fridge. So again, for my meal prep, I'm going to do a big salad like I always do. We've got a pineapple, and it is now, it needs to be cut up and put in the fridge. Super ripe. The way you tell if a pineapple is ripe at the store, even though it looks green, if you can pull out the fronds very easily, that means it's ripe and almost ready to go. Got some fresh radishes. We love radishes on everything. And some green onions. Oh, and they had iceberg lettuce, which we never really buy, but once in a while, it was actually 2 for 99 cents. I couldn't pass it up. It's perfect. I'm thinking about maybe doing some wedge salads with it, and I have a pretty good recipe for Thousand Island dressing. So, let me show you how I prep all this food and set myself up for a good week. So the green cabbage, I'm just going to put in, I reuse these bags over and over again. I do have some cloth ones that I take shopping, but never nearly enough because we buy so much produce. We're just going to put that in plastic, and those I'm going to chop up the purple because we're going to make our salad in our meal prep. Celery. So I only do a little bit of celery at a time. This always has 2 heads. I'm just going to prep one, keep it in the bag, and keep it in the crisper to keep the other one fresh. So I just have a container with cold water. I'm just going to set that aside. And I'm going to chop off the bottom and the tops. And I always like to inspect it, see how it's doing, if there's anything that needs to be, because you want to take off anything that's not optimal so that it lasts the longest. So all seems really good. So in the water it goes. I do love to save the celery tips. They're so good in salads. So in the water that goes. We're going to let that soak. Now, if you've been here before, you know I'm going to take my tops. I'm going to just save those, and those are going to go in my soup stock in my freezer already. I also have a carrot that needs to get used. I've already peeled it, and the peel has already gone into my bag for the soup stock. And I like to store carrot sticks and celery sticks in water in the fridge. I find it lasts the longest that way. And with everything being so expensive nowadays, we really need to preserve everything. Those we're going to keep in the fridge. They'll chill and they'll stay nice and fresh for at least a week if they even last that long. So I get a big bowl of water. Pretty simple. And I'm going to add some vinegar to it. And I'm going to soak the grapes. Get the grapes in there. A little rinse, and then I'm going to sprinkle in some baking soda. That's going to react a little bit with the vinegar. We're going to let those soak for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to drain them and give them a good rinse. And I'm going to cut these all up because if they're ready to go, we're going to eat them. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that people leave their everything, you know, not prepped, and then you just don't feel like doing it. But if they're already clean, you can just grab them and go. So don't be intimidated by the pineapple. We're just going to take the crown off. This is nice and super sweet. You can see that. Can't wait to eat this. And I find the best way to handle it is take the top and the bottom off. You're going to run your knife down the side. Take the skin off. If you're enjoying this video on how to preserve your food, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. What are you waiting for? We have fun here. Now, the easiest way to finish off the pineapple, this is what I do. I like going, unless I'm going to be grilling it, and then I'll just slice it. But I find I like it just done up in chunks. So there's a big, whether people like the core or not. So I take the core off, but I leave it to snack on because it is really good. But some people find it too tough. So, do you eat your core or not? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what some of the things that you like to prep ahead to make your life easier. So just going to grab a container, and again, I'm just doing chunks for now because pineapple's all done. The last thing we're going to clean up is our radishes. And again, I'm just going to soak them in that same solution and then just rinse them really well. So I just take the top off, the bottom, and now I either store these in a plastic container or a Ziploc bag, reusable one, or in water. Depends on how much room you have. I just find that plastic container is so much easier. You can wash the radish greens and use those. We've rinsed and dried our strawberries. I use the same container. I take a little bit of paper towel, I put it at the bottom. That will absorb any water that's left over. So our fruits and some of our vegetables are all prepped. Again, we have our celery and carrots in water. I know a lot of people like to put them in glass jars. I mean, I just don't have the room in my fridge because we eat a lot of them. Strawberries are cleaned, washed, and dried. Little paper towel at the bottom. That's the hint to keep them fresh for a lot longer. We cut up our pineapple, and I explained how to pick out the right pineapple. It's the fronds. check the fronds. If they come out nicely, that means it's pretty well ripe and ready to go. If they're a little tough to come out, then that means it needs to sit on the counter for a couple more days until it ripens a little bit more. The grapes were also washed and dried, and I have them just in a reusable Ziploc bag. And then just reusing one of our containers that we got, and the radishes are sitting in water. Those are gonna go in the fridge. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy making them, and I hope you got at least one tidbit of good information that might help you preserve your food and save you some money. Until next time, we'll see you soon.